Good evening, all. Welcome to I'mPossible Conversation. I'm your host, Suki, and my goal is to introduce you the ordinary people that are doing awesome things, inspiring you and me, others, to follow our dreams. I'mPossible Conversation is all about you and your story. Your story is unique and so different, and not worthy of a comparison. Jon is originally from Maryport, Cumbria. He has spent nearly 10 years in Newcastle and runs his business, Advertise One. This is Jon's story. I'm going to bring Jon now to my live stream. Hello, Jon.
Hello, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm literally just getting the post posted as I speak.
Oh. Hello, sorry.
Hello.
Hi.
Right. I'm just posting mine right now. There we go. I think I've sussed it. So of course we just before we went live there, we're just talking technology to make sure that both your friends list and mine. There we go. Yeah, I can see it on mine now. So
fantastic.
I thought everyone's happy.
Tonight's I'mPossible Conversation is all about Jon. Let's start. Tell us about yourself, please.
Okay, so my name is Jon, goes as short as Jonathan. We've just been discussing that. Sometimes Jon, Jono, Waite. It depends on who it is that I know, depending on what name I get. Originally from Maryport in Cumbria, which you were saying then before. I moved to Newcastle in 2010. I studied at Northumbria University, graduated 2014, and then since then I've lived in Newcastle since university. It's been nearly 10 years in September since I moved, and now I am the owner and founder of a freelance company called Advertise One, which looks at small businesses and improve their online presence in-house. And then when I'm not focused on that, I then have a various hobbies and interests, which I keep on top of from time to time.
Fantastic. Why Newcastle?
Well, going back to 1999, where I was first introduced to Newcastle when I got diagnosed with leukemia. Whitehaven, which is the local hospital which is near mine, couldn't do anything. Neither could Carlisle. All the children's cancers are all at the RVI. This was doing before the new children's hospital. So I spent 3 years on and off traveling to and from the RVI. So I got to know the city then. Like a little fact to go in that, I think I was the first person to have a 3-year protocol for that hospital. So for my sort leukemia. So then when it came to my UCAS, I had a few applications in place. I looked at Preston, and I didn't think much of the city. The uni done the course. I couldn't get into Manchester, but I did have in mind Manchester for quite a while, especially after visiting Manchester University for a year 9, like a summer school trip. For a few days. Couldn't get the grades for that. So then I looked at Northumbria, went round the open day and loved it to bits. And I thought, right, you know what? I know Newcastle anyways. It's far away to say that I'm away from home, but not too far away to be able to get back quickly to see any friends and family. So, and the course as well was the sort of thing I was looking for. So that's when I decided to move up to Newcastle, which was back in September 2010.
I'm glad you're in Newcastle. So you mentioned about your Advertise One, founder of Advertise One. Could you tell us about Advertise One a little bit more?
Yeah, absolutely. So Advertise One, it focuses on small businesses and is to improve either their online presence or the way to do things in-house. So if we look at the products, then you've got the website, you've got booking systems, social media pages, business listings on Google, like the SEO, that sort of stuff there. That's the product side. The services, it's either like email hosting, web hosting. It's a case where I can then do jobs on behalf, or even service level agreements where customers can buy sort like half a day, 1 day a week, 2 days a week for me to focus on them. like purely on whatever their needs are for that week. And then you've got the technical part, which is training and being able to give advice, and the consultation part as well. Especially looking at some of the customers, you've got some which have a lot of time but don't have much money, and especially when they're the newer businesses or they're starting up part time on the side of the day job, which that's how I came about. It's a case where they're building up slowly, and with a bit of advice consultation, they can then move on to what they want to do. You then got other companies which they're good at what to do, but they need someone to look at their IT and the marketing side. That's where I come in, where it's a case, hi John, this is what I need for today, or for as soon as you can. This can you give a hand? And if I don't know, then with the networking which I've done over the last few years, I've got people who I trust in who can then do stuff which I can't do. So, but the majority of the stuff which I get asked, I can normally do myself anyways, which to me the advantage, because at least it is my work, of course. Being from the Lake District, which I was saying before, from Maryport, and being in Newcastle for 10 years, I've got a bank of people, a bank of customers and potential customers in the future in both locations. So it's nice that I can go between the two.
How easy or how hard is it to start business?
Oh,
like especially Newcastle.
I think in Newcastle it is quite easy, and it is a hub of people who's doing startup businesses. Some are doing like myself, the agency, and they're looking at many customers, where some are software or a product where they're just focusing on that. Now, it is quite easy to start up in Newcastle, because the two big things that you've got around Newcastle is you've got a startup community and networking. So if it's events like Startup Week, Founders Friday, like networking groups and meetups, but then also in Newcastle in general, people are willing to talk to each other. People are quite friendly. So that side of stuff, you can get to know what is in the area, and people are willing to speak to you and tell you what they're up to. I'm happy to share people my story. The other side of it is you've got buildings across Newcastle and Gateshead where you can collaborate, which I'm an I'mPossible now. This is actually my office, which I've only just got at the beginning of the month. We've been trialing for a month now, which this is the first time I mentioned it to the public. There will be an announcement made at some point this week about it. So if you listen to this, you're hearing it first. Before that, I was next door in the shared area. I was in there for just over a year. You've got the likes of Tusk Park, which they also do dedicated desk and hot desk. And you've got the NatWest, which is a incubator and a hub. And you've got other places which are popping up across Newcastle as well. In the Ursburn area, you've got Vegas. So it's a case of getting out the house. That makes starting a business really easy on a professional front, but also as well for my mental well-being is home's home and work's work. So when I'm at home, I try not to think of work unless it's something that's really urgent. I purposely try and come to Proto to do as much work as I can. Or alternatively, if I'm working in Cumbria, I will work from a bedroom over at my parents' house in Maryport.
How easy was it to transition from your full-time work to become a founder and a business owner?
It wasn't too bad for me because I already started doing it part-time. So I started off it would be 5 years in April since I came up with the idea, and I'm doing it low-key for very close friends and family. 2017, I then registered for self-employed, and in the end of 2018, I decided to go full-time. So going back to that transition, I started to get busier and busier on my part-time. I started to get more work like on the evening and weekends. I realised I could then get a startup loan from Transmit, which are based next door in the North Design Centre. And it's a case where I thought, right, I've got the buffer. I know what I need to do. I built up my contacts over the start week a few months prior and asked the questions which I need to know, and then decided, right, I'm going to make the switch. And I knew it was going to be either late 18 or early 2019 at the latest. So it happened it was in end of September, beginning of October 2018 when I done it. The only difference is, of course, you're not getting a wage anymore. And that's the hardest thing is you're not getting paid on the last day of the month. It's whatever that you get from the customers. And some customers are good at paying on time, or that certain customers pay on a certain day. There's some where they either pay the next day, or you could be waiting months. So that is the hardest transition for me. I was quite good at focusing on the actual work, and because I was on my own, I could just keep noting my email and use my calendar, and that works really well. As time's gone on, I've got better systems in place to track the organisation of my work. So then, when people come on board in the future, which looks like it is going to happen before the year's out, there's collaboration tools in place ready for that.
So you mentioned you are bringing, is it work placements or apprenticeship?
Yes, so
you're going to be an employee.
Yes, so touch
How
wood,
exciting is that?
It is, and funny enough, I got approached for that. I was a few weeks ago. I was having a discussion with my mum at the time, and I said it's getting to the point now where it's not that I'm not good at what I do. There's just that much to do. Some days where there's someone disappointed because I took a bit long with them because something else just came in front because it requires more attention. I've got to make that decision more than once in a day of what is actually a priority. So as I was thinking this, literally a couple of days later, I got an email saying, "Oh, I found you." I can't even remember exactly where it from. It was Facebook or the internet or whichever. I'm looking to do a placement for 6 weeks unpaid internship. So I said, right, let's organise a call and we'll have a chat. And it turns out to me that she's from the Leeds area. She studies at Salford University, and she was looking for public relations and photography placement initially. However, she then turned around and said, well, I'm purposely coming up to Newcastle because her boyfriend lives in the area, in the Bensham area, so it's not far from where I work. And it's a case where she wants to do something slightly different to what she learned at uni and try somewhere different to Leeds and Manchester. So I said, right, well, what's the date that you want to start? Looked and said, yeah, that's fine. So she's going to start next week. And I've organised a few things where we're mixing up like what actually happened in the office, and also show her like like the industry, like the networking, the events side, whatever events are left at the minute, because I know there's been that many cancelled in the last week due to the coronavirus, which everyone is aware about. But the idea is she's going to see how a small business works, where every day is different, and that there's a little bit of flexibility in what you do, rather in comparison, I should say, to working in a big corporate.
So when is she going to start? You must be really looking forward.
Yeah, so she'll start this time next week. She'll start. I think the placements I'm running are between 10 and 4, Monday to Friday. But of course, I think looking at the calendar, there'll be one day a week where I let her like work remotely. So if she wants to do photography, I'll give her a task. But it seems to be that 4 days a week she will be in the office. That's going off like what's like today's news now. If it gets to a point where I have to like temporarily do it remotely, then it also shows that, especially in this sort of business, which I can do myself. How can you operate a small business from anywhere? Which when I set up this company, all the files are remote accessible. I can access me Pro or desktop from any internet connection. The phone lines can be answered anywhere, even the landlines. All the collaboration tools are online, so it doesn't matter where I'm at. I've sometimes done the best work on the train, so that'll be also the other thing that I'm going to show, is that you don't have to be in the same place to be able to do what you're good at.
You got that freedom, as long as you've got internet. Yes.
Well, yeah, and it just showed that I've just been to Liverpool this weekend, which this is kind of why the show got delayed till today rather than yesterday. But also going there and coming back, as you've just said there, having internet connection, I worked on my laptop on the journey there and the journey back, which it's 6 hours. It was if I say I worked half of it, so even 3 hours, just getting emails clear and doing all the little tasks, it's still making a difference.
Exactly. Yes. So that's what you do for business-wise, successful businessman. Let's talk about you. What are you interested interested in? What's your hobbies?
Okay, well, when we
Mhm,
spoke before earlier, they did a bio on my Facebook intro, which is public as well. Loves a
mhm,
good live concert, pub quizzes, live comedy, a game pool, and some photography on the side. So
mhm,
if we go to the live concert, we'll go in the order that I've said it. Normally, I have a concert about once a month, and so far that sounds about right. I've had a concert in January, I've had two in Feb. Actually, this month is a bit of a miss, but then I've got one in April, May, June, July. So it tends to be that I have one a month on average.
mhm,
And some of them are in Newcastle. Sometimes I've got friends that come with me. Some of them I go on my own, especially with the back up here because I'm engaged at the
mhm.
minute. It is quite handy to get there. Oosburg's near my house. Or I'll travel on the megabus or the train down to places like Manchester, Leeds, Liverpool. They're the three I've done so far. There could be Glasgow at a later date, and then go on my own or with friends down to
Mhm.
them places
Yeah,
to go see them.
yeah. Like that megabus.
Yeah, yeah,
That's the one who advertises it's a £1. Is that right?
that's right. Well, I haven't had
Have
one
you
for a
ever
pound yet.
have you ever had have you ever managed to get that fare?
I haven't got it like the £1 fare, but what I have done is with Tesco Club Card, you get times three on the Megabus. So it means that because I've like shopped at Tesco, got petrol at Tesco, got a credit card with Tesco, I accumulate the points quite quickly.
Mhm.
So I converted £8 worth of token to £24 Megabus. So it only
Mm.
cost me like £2, £3, I think, for a return journey, and that's booking it 2 days before.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Because I'm just interested because when it says £1 to
Mhm.
travel from somewhere, it's just too good, isn't it?
I think you can get to Middlesbrough for a pound, but for the likes of Leeds and Manchester, still you can easily do a return journey. Like that was with short notice, and I got it for about £30. Now, if
Mhm.
you book it in advance, you can. I know I've done Leeds for £10 very easy by booking it about a month in advance.
All right. Okay. So we've been talking previously. You are interested in cycling. You
Hmm.
cycle a lot, and then you love running, and you've been doing lots of charity running, and
Hmm.
you're interested in photography as well.
Yeah. So if we go
Mhm.
to let's go to the sport, and let's go to the
Mhm.
running
Yeah.
and the cycling. Now, I've done the Great North Run 3 times. All the times I've raised money for the North East Children Cancer Research, NECCR, as it's shortly abbreviated as. And when I started raising money for them, they were a very small charity at the time. Now they are quite mainstream, where people know of them that do the popular Greg's sponsored charity run, which is Gosforth Park
Mhm.
in May. Now I've just been told today that that's been postponed. And that's now 20th of September, which clashes with another charity show which I do with the Time Theatre. But I'll go on about that in a minute. So then I've been looking at the events. There's the Carlisle Run, which is next year. There will be that charity run back again next year. But there's also the bike ride as well, either a 9 mile or a 22 mile bike ride to raise money for them in June. So I'm keeping an eye on that. I'm going to go and fix my bike because the gears haven't been great the last 12 months or so. I haven't really been on the bike that much since becoming self-employed, but then what I
Mhm.
have before that, especially in the uni days, I used to do a lot of off-road mountain biking, places like Hampsley, Forest in County Durham. I've done in Aletheia near Edinburgh. I've done Winlatter in the Lake District. So I used to do a lot of that. It's when I came off my bike at the end of first year at uni. That's where I think when the gears haven't been great since, and of course uh, I think I twisted my arm where I couldn't lift it much further than about 45 degrees. And that lasted for about a month. So it put me
While
off.
cycling.
Yeah, so it put me off going on my bike for a bit. But then I've eased myself back into it. I've done biking around parks, like doing like bike paths and like road cycling, but with a mountain bike. So
Mhm.
it's one of the things that you can still do cross terrain, but being more simple. It's been a focus for a while to get the bike repaired and to do more of it. So now I know there's an event coming up that I'm interested in, especially because of that date being moved for the run. Instead, raise money for the same charity, but do it on a biking sort of
Rather than
idea.
running.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
of course, especially being the summer nights, And last year I was working a lot in Spain, and I was doing like 1 week a month in Spain. So I was traveling a lot, and also doing catch up at both ends to make sure all the other customers are fine. This year it's all about focus, like being more stable with the company and to be able to be more profitable, but to like work less hours to have a better life balance. And even then, so it's biking to work or having having like coming early, finish early, and enjoy biking along the quayside. Because like I said, I'm not far from the quayside. I live in Heaton, which is about 3 miles out of Newcastle, and it's not a bad bike ride to actually get back to Heaton. I know there's a few hills, especially more that side and this side, but it is a route that I can do quite easy. If we go back to the other stuff that I do for charity, which is I think sport is actually running around the time theatre on that show. I'll do it backstage on the day, but I'm coordinate the media, so like the flyers, the posters, and work with the show manager for the 2CC, Two Children's Charities. It stands for Time Theatre show, which is always every September, and it's been running now for a good few years. To the point where even the volunteers are either Time Theatre staff or ex-Time Theatre staff. It's the same people that we've had for a number of years. The two charities that we raise money for, with them both local, one of them being the Time Theatre Preservation Trust, and another one is dependent on the charity that we choose. So this year it is Maryport, just for the simple fact that one of the main organisers last year who came up with the idea on day one, he passed away last year and he was in the Maryport hospice. So that's the reason why that's the second charity. So you're looking at the sports side of stuff there, which I enjoy, but also raising money for one of them charity because I've had leukemia. I'm giving back to children who's suffering now or been suffering, or is anyone in the future who could get. The research has gone in. Give it back to somewhere where I've already been. But then the other side, of course, is with the charity show at Time Theatre, it's something I've been involved in for about 5 years now. And that is also that's teamwork, and it's just nice that that comes around every September.
Yeah, and then you mentioned about your love on country music, that
Yes.
you travel quite a lot.
Well, that's right, and I think that's only been something in the last few years. I started going to the Americana Summertime Music Festival. I think it'll be 2015 or 2016 was the first year I went. So it hasn't been that long. And with YouTube now and Spotify, it's quite good at giving recommended music and just have an autoplay on in the background while I've been working. I've started to like it more and more and more. So I started going to the Americana, as I just said, which is on the forecourt and inside the stage, on the gate of the quayside. And then last year I went to see a singer in Amsterdam or the Ziggo Dome. I went down to Liverpool and seen a American country singer. And I think by far that is still my favourite one to date when it comes to the country ones. I've been to stage 1, stage 2 a few times, seen them. I've just been down to one, which I've also really enjoyed, over in Manchester. It was in a little cafe. And yeah, I've actually been to quite a few, which I've got one lined up on Easter Sunday. I've got one lined up in the middle of May, just before the Newcastle Startup Week. And I've also got some that I've got my eye on that I haven't booked yet, but they are penciled in. And I'm going to get till April, just like get some money aside to also see what's happening with events across the country. And if they're still running, I purposely got them all to sort out. It's a bit like a little Easter present for myself.
Yeah. And then remember, when I asked you what are we going to talk about, you mentioned about it's about the quality of your friends rather than a quantity. Can we go back to that one? And you mentioned about like secondary school friends and
so let's if we go back to school, where I come from, a town where everyone knows everyone and everyone is quite friendly with each other, which is quite good for like where I'm from. And especially when you go like out in the local town, it is like people are like, oh, hi John, how you doing? Hi Jonathan, haven't seen you for a while. It is quite nice when I go back there. But then as time goes on, I think it was university. when I first realised this. You finish university, what people who you thought were going to stay at university realize they haven't. They've all some have disappeared. They've gone up to new places, gone on to new things. Then you go into the job world where you learn about how people are in the workplace. I tried moving back to Cumbria for a bit as well, 2015, where I just couldn't find a job that I liked. Had a breakup at the time. I thought, oh, I'll move back to Cumbria. It's where I know people. But then realised, I thought, no, I'm a city boy. And so I moved back in July 15. So as time's gone on, you tend to learn like who your friends are, who's close family, who it is that you could like say hello to in the street or in the pub, or who would have a drink with. To then comparison, who would you share more your secret stories with? And my friendship groups haven't really changed much in the last few years, especially the people that I know in Cumbria. That's stayed very, very strong and firm, and that hasn't changed a lot, I would say, since about 2016. Around here in Newcastle, I think some of the people that I've met through running my business full time, some of them are now my closest friends. But it's back to the point of what I'm saying is, like I was saying to you before, especially with my lifestyle, there's some weeks where I am around a lot, and then some weeks I am quite busy. One of my close friends, I'll either see twice a week, twice a month, twice a week, sometimes twice a month, or as I was saying before, there was an instance last year. We went from May Bank holiday, the second one, right up to the end of July, not seeing each other 2 months, but yeah, we just left off where we were. So back to the quote which I gave at the start, you can't be everyone's cup of tea, otherwise you'll be a mug. It's basically the case is if you try and please everyone, it's going to happen. You're either not, you're going to disagree, or you're not going to be compatible with some people. You're best off being yourself, and the ones who are there for you and are close will stand by you. And that is something that I am very aware of now. And it doesn't matter if people like decide that they're not compatible with you, don't particularly want to be your friend, or don't want to work with you.
So
okay, it is.
Who is friend then? Not like who is friend, like what's the quality of a friend?
I think it's back to what I was saying before with my lifestyle is quite sometimes quite busy, sometimes quite quiet. All of my friends and family that are arm's length. One of the qualities I have is if it's a case where you're constantly sitting over me, it ain't going to work. But if I know where you're at, and especially if you're planning stuff in advance, or someone who knows like you as a person, but then doesn't go and tell everyone stuff that is to be kept secret, that is a quality on its own, or understands where you're coming from as well. So I've got some close friends in Maryport, and like I see them quite often. I've got a handful of close friends in Keswick who I used to work with when I used to work in Keswick. Because I used to go back every summer because there was more work in Cumbria than there was around here, especially in the uni days. But that worked great. The ones from Keswick, it's a case where we'll organise our cats. They'll come to me and stay over. I'll stay over there. We'll have concerts. We all understand each other. We don't see each other often, but when we do, it's a good catch up. And then the people that I know around here, same, especially because I live here the most, it's a case where I just don't feel like we have to constantly do stuff. Just know that they're there if there is anything, and it's just nice that you're not on your own. You've got people in different places. Well, I've got different friends, all into different things, but we're all quite close.
Yeah, but if you think about friends, it's not how much time you spend, isn't it?
No,
it's
it
more
isn't.
It's more about understanding and knowing each other.
And I think that's definitely going back from the transition from being at school and university to then when you then go into like adult life. And back to, if I'm going to go back to a point which I said before, one thing I've also learned as well, this is going back onto, in some respects, the quality and quantity. Going back to the concerts, I'm not going to force any of my friends to come with me just for the sake of having someone next to me. I'll go on my own. I'm happy because I enjoy it, and I'm happy to be in the presence of my own. And back to what you just said there, it's understanding what your friends are into. I know fine well I've got a handful of people that I trust with anything, and then there's people that I know I can have a conversation with. That's different. I can talk to anyone. I'm quite a friendly person, but there's people that I know who would know certain, I would say, secrets or more confidential stuff about me.
Mm.
And vice versa, I know stuff about them that's not public to the world.
Mm-hmm. So how far do you go for your friends?
It's a case where I'll just keep doing what I normally do, and it's a case of if the friendship clicks, it clicks. It's not a case of like going to like friendship groups or like trying to get someone to be my friend. It just comes natural.
Did you make any effort?
Well, it's a case where like
it's if you don't do that, that means you just like waiting someone to be compatible to you, isn't it?
I think it's a two-way thing.
Yeah,
it's definitely a two-way thing, and it's a more like I'm like meeting people in like the sort of stuff that I do, in the hobbies that I do, from where I'm from, in my work environment, and I can just know when I'm going to get on with someone well, and then that's how the friendship grows. So anyone that's you in my life, it's been anyone that I've met within the small business freelance industry. The people that I've said about in Cumbria is people that I've grew up to school with, I've been on holidays with, and the fact that we've been away on holiday, we knew then that friendships were there, or the fact where I make an effort to go back and see certain people and they got effort to see me. It's back to what I was saying before. I don't feel like we have to see each other, but it's good that people make effort. And when it's like, oh, let's have a catch up, but then knowing the other side of it is when there's stuff and you need friends for like that they're there for any reason, you know that where they're at.
Tell us more.
So say that again.
Tell me more.
So it's a case. I'm trying to. If we go back, we've talked about Cumbria and we said about the people who, when I go back there, I've got a small group on Facebook and WhatsApp saying, right, I'm coming back. Who wants to have a catch up? So that's like more the friendly side of stuff. If it's the case where it's more like I've got some like questions and it's like, oh, I know someone to listen to, that tends to be more on a one-to-one chat, and I know which people it is that I would speak to. Even I would say you can also put certain members in your family as friends as well. Like there can be both. I know you can't choose family, but in my instance, I do get on with all my family, so I'm quite lucky in that respect. And of course, they all live in West Cumbria, apart from my sister and my brother. My sister's in Newcastle, in Gateshead, I should say, rather than Newcastle. So she's literally just up the road. My brother's in Liverpool. I've just been there yesterday. It's not that far to get to. So it is quite a good thing that I've got the mix there. And I can sometimes go a week and not see any of my friends, and it doesn't bother me at all because I'm occupied doing other things. I've got my own hobbies as well, like the photography. I can go and do on my own in the evening. I'm very happy to do that and then see what photos are good and make a story out of it. The cycling and the running, same again. I can do that on my own. I've said about the concert. Pub quiz and a game of pool. That's when you need friends, of course. It's a bit of a sad time you can't. But it's definitely two sides of it. It's definitely you've got the people. It's good that the ones are close, you can do both with the ones who you can like share stuff with in confidence, but then also the ones who you can have fun doing stuff out of work. Especially now, I was saying before with the business, I'm getting a better work-life balance and definitely focusing more on that side of things.
Yeah, because when you talk about work-life balance, it must be a quite recent thing for you, is it? I don't know. I'm just like it's just my assumption because starting a new business and getting customers, and then like at the beginning, everything's quite hard. I wouldn't say like hard. It's time-consuming. You have to invest loads of time. In that way, you overwork in like the first few years, possibly, and then now like everything's kind of coming how you want. And then now you're thinking about work-life balance and
Oh, definitely. Because if I look at when I first came full time, the always the scare is trying to get any sort of work, and
Mm-hmm.
especially you're getting a reputation out there, you're trying to get work. And I was lucky that I actually got quite a lot quite early on. That just meant that I was quite busy early on as well. It's only just I would say now that it's a nice amount coming in to the point where it was really busy. I would say from when I first started till about January, then it went quiet from about January till March last year. Then it got really
Mm-hmm.
busy again from April till about September, October. And then it wasn't too bad during November and December. A lot of little stuff that kept me ticking away. And then I had about a quiet period just after Christmas for about 2 weeks. And then I remember, I think it was the second Monday in January, I think it was about the 15th or something. Um, Suddenly it just got really busy again. It's only just got quite nice now. Um, so if that sort of thing is being able to keep up with the momentum, now I know I can get work. It's a case of how effective can I be with it and what can I put in place
Mm-hmm.
to make the business more efficient to then be able to, like I was saying to you before, um, to enjoy the work-life balance. And one thing that I've been doing, which is definitely helping, is on Fridays, unless I know there's something urgent, I focus more on in-house stuff, organization, accounts, my own training, that sort of stuff. And that works really well, knowing that eases the week nicely.
Mm-hmm.
I don't work weekends anymore. I don't do all nighters. When I first started the business, I would work a lot of weekends. If you speak to anyone who knows me in the industry, they know that I used to do some silly hours. Now
Mm-hmm.
it seems to be uh, I tend to focus more afternoon and evenings, and in the mornings, so you're there for a buffer. If something comes in urgently, I enjoy my own time in the morning, or if I have to work late for any reason, it's given me a chance to have a lie-in. So that's why I don't, unless I have to, I don't tend to plan mornings anymore.
Mm-hmm. So are you a morning person or evening person?
Oh, definitely an evening person, especially
Uh-huh.
this time of year. However, when I know the weather's nice in the summer, I'm quite
Mm-hmm.
good at getting up in the morning, knowing
Mm-hmm.
if I finish earlier, I can enjoy the like when it's the long summer nights, I can enjoy them more. In the winter, does it really
Mm-hmm.
matter? At least I can enjoy some of the natural sunlight, like in the late morning, and then I'll come into work at some point in the afternoon, and then focus on a development task during the afternoon or in the early evening.
Mm-hmm. So how, because you do lots of social media stuff, don't you?
Hmm.
Yeah. And then how hard is it? Or is it because you do it all the time? That's
It is like one thing I do. I plan my social media. So if it's anything
uh-huh.
to do with the business, I tend to do it Monday to Thursday and in the working hours. If it's
Mhm.
more stuff about my personal life, I tend to do that more on a weekend. So when it comes to like the business social media, that's LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. If it's more personal, it tends to be more just Facebook and Instagram. And that it's one of the things where I'll schedule and I'll try and do like 2 or 3 posts a week, and that works because I'm not overdoing it, and I've normally used the same post across all 4 channels. I maybe just change it a little bit, um, that sort of stuff. I know social media now. I do a lot less than I used to, but I'm
Mhm.
more in a better pattern now because I know in the week kind of what I want to talk about.
Yeah, interesting. So if you think since you started, the services you're offering probably evolved a lot.
Hmm. Yeah,
So
well,
what's the future? What's the future's looking like?
right. So in the future, the idea is by end of this year that there's more like the company's quite profitable. I'm working like less hours to what I am now, and a case of looking to then get a team on board. So that's like very short term more for the business. Going into the next few years, we've got a lot of friends' 30th birthdays coming up. So it seems to be from September onwards it's kind of planned for me the next couple of years, the little trips away, which is great. I don't have to think about much. And then when after I turn 30, the idea is to by that point I should have a few years self-employed under my belt, start looking for a nice house, like a little bit more on the outskirts of Newcastle. I was saying to you before that my car is 17 years old and it does run very well for the age of it, but I know that I will have to get a better car at some point in the future. So very short-term objective is to be able to make more than I spend. Looking more long-term is, especially more into my 30s, is looking at the house and the car, but then also travel further afield. Going back to what I was saying about country music, Nashville in Texas is definitely somewhere I wouldn't mind going to. I priced it up roughly, so I know what the cost is going to be. And I know I would have to do some saving up that year, of course. Canada's also been on my mind as well, and Australia's been on my mind. So it's more looking at being able to have the time and the money to be able to travel further afield and for a longer period. Because this year it's been a lot of short trips, and normally across a weekend, where I've never been away Monday or Friday. I want to be able to say, right, I can go away for a full week and be able to put the business in capable hands while I'm away.
Oh, right. That's the reason.
Oh yeah, it's definitely. I want to be able to enjoy when I go somewhere. I've made the effort and paid the money to go somewhere. I want to fully enjoy it and enjoy the moment, and that's kind of why I enjoy my concerts, because they're on an evening. I'm enjoying the music. I've made the effort to go there. I've paid for the concert. I've travelled down to see them, if especially I've travelled, but I'm enjoying the good few hours that I'm there. It lifts the mood. I'm not concentrating on anything else. I'm enjoying that moment, and then normally afterwards, get to speak to a few of the band members afterwards, or if friends have came with me, with them normally enjoy the weekend and maybe visited a few bars afterwards after concert.
Right. So, because you are into country music, do you sing?
I don't, and if I do try and sing, people run away. Even I've had experience at the karaoke bar where they put a sign up saying like "go away," so like PIS off because the singing's that bad. You speak to any of my friends, they know my singing's not great.
All right.
Don't get me wrong, I like singing in the shower.
That's my kind of club.
Oh yeah, it is a good laugh in there. But singing is not one of my best talents, but I don't mind singing in the car, in the shower. I think that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, I usually ask few like random questions at the end of this like I'mPossible conversation. And I would ask, what's your favorite zoo animal?
Ooh, it's something I've not really thought about. I think I'm going to go to a monkey, just for the simple fact the first thing I've just thought of then. I know it's like sort of thing like quite a noisy animal, but quite lively, and I think that's what I can be like. I think the second one would be tiger, just for the simple fact one, I've got a tiger onesie, so people have seen that, and I've been to fancy dress parties. But it's also as well where it's like just sort of like being able to like one of the bigger animals. I never really thought of lion, but it's just one of them other animals that I thought of then.
Fantastic, one will do. Yeah. What's the tallest building you've been to the top in?
The coolest building.
Tallest.
The tallest building.
Tallest, yeah.
I think it would be the Empire State Building in New York. I went over there. It'll have been in 2010. So before I moved to Newcastle, and 10 of us went with school, and we managed to go in there.
Oh, wow. And what's the longest you've gone without sleep, and why?
36 hours, easily. And that's it's been a case where I've been at an event, running an event, and then I've had to then do something afterwards. I remember back at school, it was about that because I was a part of this group called Rock Challenge, doing a technical for them, and it was a case where I had some coursework to do for school, and then go to that event, which was at Grimsby, do the event, and then come back. So I think, like I said, I think it easily was a day and a half. I think I've even in the self-employed life, I have done 24-hour, 25, 26. I've not gone past just over 24. But even then, that was when I first went full time. That hasn't happened for quite a while now.
It's very interesting. So the last question, what's the worst gift you have received?
Oh,
It's just like a random.
I think the worst one.
Yeah, what could that be?
I tried to think.
Oh, you could go to the best one.
It is one of those things. It is quite a hard one. Think of the best or worst. I think if we go for the worst, is where someone thought I've enjoyed something like chocolate, say, and I don't like mint or orange chocolate, and I've received them as a gift, so I've ended up giving them to someone else. So I think we'll go down that for the worst. I think the best gift I've been given, I mean, anything that's been like put some thought into it. So I think it's been a case of if it's been like, I remember for my 18th birthday, I was given some rock concert tickets. It's the first time I've ever been to the Auto Academy, or at the time it would have been the Carlin Academy. So we're going back a while now. And getting there, I was just excited to just go to my first concert. Because before that, I've only really been to very small like bands, like where they've been at the back of a pub, handful of people. But to travel, like someone who's from the countryside, who know like the biggest city is Newcastle, Carlisle isn't that big. To travel like nearly 2 hours to come and see something just felt more special than just seeing something in the area.
Oh, yeah.
So
Fantastic.
so yeah, I remember that for my 18th birthday now. So
yeah, because that's the in a corner of where the Tuss Park and everything is, isn't it?
that's right, yeah. And
Yeah, because I remember that place being cinema or some bingo place very long time ago. Probably you wouldn't remember because you were just way too
I
young.
know further along the road, back to the Time Theatre, which is also on the same junction as the Auto Academy. That used to be the Stoll Picture House. So that used to be a cinema a long time ago. So, and I know you've had other cinemas across Newcastle in the past. You've had one where the Stack is now, where Northumbria University Business School, that was Warner Brothers at one point. So you've had a handful of cinemas in the city over the years.
Yeah. I remember that there was a Odeon opposite the Tyneside Cinema as well. Yeah, but it was very long time ago.
Oh yeah, so that's the one I was thinking of. It's where Stack's at now.
Oh yeah, that's where Stack is, isn't it?
Yeah. So this is.
well, yeah. So thank you very much for joining me in I'mPossible conversation.
No worries. Thank you very much.
What would you say as a person? Do you know what I've achieved, that I'm proud of this and I am possible?
It's a case of especially the last 5 years since the time of finishing uni. It's a case of back to the quote I was saying. You can't be everyone's cup of tea, otherwise you'll be a mug. But then the other thing as well is be able to be independent to then do what you want without having someone with you. And the amount of traveling that I've done on my own, I've been to concerts on my own, I'm willing to do stuff on my own. This business idea, this is also on my own as well. Photography, it's a case of if you want to do something, don't let other people stop you. And that also means is if you need to have someone with you, don't do that either, because that still falls in that same category. Go off your own accord, be brave to do stuff on your own.
Yeah, so you picked what you wanted to do and you're doing it. That's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and the one thing I like about doing what I do now is I can do the best quality of stuff when it suits best. I'm not working 9 to 5 anymore. I feel that I can even today, as I was saying to you earlier on, I've worked all day today. I've worked from 12 o'clock. I'm still here now talking to you. I've got a couple of things to finish. I don't mind having a long day on a Monday and get a load of stuff done. I'll work on a train going to Manchester and back tomorrow, and I'll work Wednesdays and Thursdays as well. Friday, I tend to have a bit of a shorter day, but with my sister's wedding on Saturday, I'll be getting ready for that. So ideally, I'm trying to do four days this week, but keep them long.
I'm so jealous. So you're choosing what you want to do and you're doing it. That's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. And definitely focus on between now and 30 years, do more stuff that I enjoy doing, because this is about us as people rather than what we do for a living.
Exactly. Okay. Thanks very much for your time, and I absolutely enjoyed chatting with you. And
Thank you very much.
your story.
Yes,
And we'll
I'll
catch up with you later, hopefully.
yes, I'll see you soon.
Yeah. Okie doke. Right. Thank you for everyone watching, and bye-bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye. Oh.